Hi guys, you have here and I have released the Kraken. This is an instructional step-by-step video. If you like to watch stuff made here on YouTube, this video should be fun to watch. If you are a maker and you want to build the Kraken, let's go! Let's fucking go! Share your beast. There are other ways to get the monster, and I'll tell you all about it right after this homebrew highlight from Brinker's VR review.
But then this guy sent me something. It couldn't be ignored. This monstrosity is the coolest thing I've ever seen. It works amazing. When attaching the controller, he's using the old school band. So far, it's working fantastic. For me, getting both the controllers in, it took me 30 seconds. If not for that, this whole thing would be built, done, good to go, without even the screwdriver. More reliable than a lot of other Gunstocks I've tried. Like a mad scientist putting stuff together in his basement. Like, that's kind of what this is.
What Brinkast was talking about was Unistock MK2, the Kraken's older brother that you can buy. It's on a back order and it's done especially for you. You can also buy the Unity. It's €81 cheaper, but I need 10 guys pre-ordering it. If we won't reach 10 people, I am refunding all the money at the end of every month. Join the Discord to get yourself on the list for Unity, and without any further ado, let's go. Here's Bat, here's Dominant, and here's front hand. Some materials, M3 rods, threaded, not threaded, M5 aluminum piece, an empty one because it's easier to then drill through. 10 by 10 millimeters white aluminum piece for our bat, and this is the rail, N9 rail. You can buy it on limobearing.com. You can also buy it on Temu. Miniature linear rail, M4 rod, PVC for the G-crest, M3 nuts. First we're gonna start with the magnet. The most important one is this one, 40 millimeters by 10 by 4. They lift 10 kilograms, the round ones, 5 millimeters by 15 wide. We're gonna use other magnets later. Let's set them in the cups. The setting of the magnets is pretty important. This magnet does not really matter. From this setup, we will be following the next magnets. It should fit tightly. First one, and from this, take the cup. And so I'm gonna follow this magnet. I usually do this like this. I mount it first, and then I slide it in. And we have the first magnet. Now, this magnet should be set opposite to this magnet, a separate side. Take the magnet, attach it to the cup, and then slide it inside the side of the cup the other way around. So now it's pushing, so I'm going to push it like this. And now I have 3 magnets, so I'm going to set up this magnet against this one. Now the round piece. So if I'm going to approach the gunstock from this side, it should push up this magnet and also push up from the square. I should have a pushback from the square on this side. Magnet this one here. Then slide it in, of course, in the other way around. So like this, turn it over and slide in. Put the magnet here and just slide it into the cassette. And there is the last one piece. So we're going to approach the magnet from this side. So we want this to be pushing out and only click this. So once again, this or this, because this is the same side. So I'm turning over and I'm sliding this one here. And from here, I'm going to take my magnet and then just clip it here and slide it into this cassette. Nice. This is the lock for the cup itself. So we mount it like this and we just push it in. So this will be our mechanism that locks permanently. And drop here, drop here. Nicely smoothing. Lock it and push it to the max so there is no visible spaces. And now we're going to glue the front. And close the lid. Now we're gonna close the cap. Okay, so I'm gonna copy from the cup to the cup. So I'm copying here. This one simply slides in this cassette. And I slide it like here, like so. No, not here, here. So just take it off, slide it in here. Covering lid, this one goes here. And the front. And now just copy what we did to match the magnetic fields. Slide this one here. Next one. And we're moving it here. And lock it in. Last piece goes here. And cover. Okay, the main magnets are set. Take the slider, slide it on the side where there's this part, this plastic, like so. Take a small magnet, also square one, 40 millimeters by 7 millimeters by 2 millimeters. Put it in here, like the magnet wants to. Okay, now we're going to use a screw. Okay. This screw serves two purposes. First one locks the magnet, and then it adds steel bone to the sliding mechanism. We're gonna take magnet 10 millimeters, so a centimeter wide and 2 millimeters deep. Transform this to that. And this is all the magnets, all the work with magnets we need to do. My new invention. Well, what we're going to do is we're gonna prepare the levers. Before we do this, we can actually paint the insides of the cups plastic deep. It's a must if you want to have it up to standard. I'm gonna paint an inside here, 1 and 2 on both cups, and I'm gonna wait until they dry a bit, and then I'm gonna paint the other side. A thick layer. Don't be shy with this. One. I'm using a steel cutter, pen, and teller. Measure how far. And I'm cutting a little bit, turn over 90 degree, a little bit, and then between this. So I'm going to use the angle grinder to fix the cut. I just want to scratch the surface here to make it smoother. We need 5 of these and one slightly longer. One lever that is different, it's shorter, and the shorter one is slightly wider. Next step, to make a mark on the course in the middle, and we're gonna drill the hole. Find the middle, mark the middle. Next, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. M3 drill, pliers. And now slowly and carefully drill through. And this is what we are left with. 5 more times. 2, number 3, 4, 5, and the last one. Damn it. Dominant hand first. So this thing meets this thing, and then it meets this thing. So this is what we have now. M3 rod. We need to prepare it to make it bolt. M3 nuts, both of them. Pliers. Take a normal nut. Screw first. First nut, the self-locking nut. And for this, you probably want to use some pliers. And now I'm gonna put the drop of super glue between those nuts, and I'm gonna tighten up to this one, so it's gonna lock forever. Tighten it up, and I'm gonna use the pliers to hold the nut, and then screw it nice and tight together. M4 widened washer. M5 widened washer. Now we're gonna take one of the cores we made. Okay, and this will be our first mechanism. Push it all the way to the end and make the mark right here where the lever ends. Cut. M4 widened, thread it through. M5 widened, threading the mechanism. I'm screwing the M3 slightly, and M3 nut will be locked between forks of the lever. And now it's going to provide some friction, and additionally it's going to lock the nut like itself. So with this move you can unscrew, and the nut's gonna stay there. And now put it together and screw or hold the mechanism together. Now this will provide enough of movement, and once you lock it, it's going to be stable as nothing else. You can choose how tight you want the lever to be. I will still try to screw it slightly more. Perfect. Now in this moment, what I want to do is, without rotating everything, push the lever inside, drop of glue between core and nut, and then push it together so it will be locked forever. I'm going to do the top and the sides, and the dominant will be done. Now this part, it has a small insert here, and we're gonna slide in the washer, M3 normal washer. Okay. Nice. This time around, take only a nut, self-locking one. Okay, and we are bucking it up. Nice and smooth. All right, let's shashvik this. Starts to take shape. Now, washer, M5 widened. The short core, put in together. The mark right over here. Fixing the lever. Now let's do like so, and it's supposed to find the way itself, and it did. Push it in. Now it works with the friction. Unscrew. It stays. One goes in, goes through. Add the washer first. Slowly but surely screw it all together. Ooh, nice. Okay, now it's the time for the slider. First thing we need to do is we need to cut a very precise 59 millimeters out of the M3 rods, the smooth ones. So clean it. 59. Another one. Now we need to glue them together. A drop of glue is enough. Slide it in and hit it so it meets the wall on the other side. So this will meet this hole, this will meet this hole, and the slider starts to work. Put the cup one and two. So that's all for our paint for now. Okay, now the rod has an empty tube that goes through, and it is for M4 steel rod. We need to also make the glued dome from the nut. M4 nut goes to M3, securing it with the super glue. We're going to prepare the slider first, make it smooth. Now thread it through. Now the second part. So now I'm gonna make a mark with additional space for two nuts. Cleaning. Put the glue over here. Slide it in. Drop of glue between this part and this part, and then screw the nut. Screw in. That's okay. Nice. Another nut. Drop a nut of glue. So we hold this and tighten this thing up. Nice. The most important part, the main block. This whole axis is M4. Before we mount the cup, let's add reinforcement and a nut. We're going to use M3 threaded rod. Screw the nut. I'm going to give 5 millimeters more. Let's apply it. The nut on the other side. So that's the first one. Screw. Okay. And it's time for the nut job. We're gonna add the nuts in those cavities. I'm gonna need 4. Thread the screw through. So I'm threading it through. I'm screwing it on the other side. I'm locking it into the cassette, into the cavity. Tighten it slightly. I'm backing it up, and I'm gonna put the drops of glue on the sides of the nut, not to destroy. And now you can slightly screw in and then unscrew. We really don't want the glue to get inside the thread. Perfect. M4 drill, M4 nut, super glue, a little bit of time to dry it out. We're going to use the shorter lever. I need to widen up the core for M4. Done. Nut which is going to be blocked by the lever itself, like so. The washer, M5 widened, like so. The mark, cleaning, 2 nuts, M4, slide it here. Now you have to slide it through this. Okay, now we're gonna do the washer, M4 widened. Few more turns, locks nicely. The lock should be a bit more rigid on this axis. This thing holds the butt and the rail. Nice, this is what I want. And now I'm gonna add another nut, a drop of glue, secure forever. The dominant cup is ready to the dominant. Once again, M3 rod, the ordinary one and the self-locking, flush with the rod, drop of glue, two together and secure with friction. M4 widened washer, M5 widened washer. We are making a mark at the end of the closed lever. Clean M3 nut, self-locking, pushing it in. Now it's gonna stay between the walls of the lever. Unscrew. The thread has to go through all the nuts, because if it's not, it might not work. Perfect. Open the lever, push back the lever. The top part, M3 threaded rod, self-locking nut. Screw it slightly more, drop of a glue, flush with the nut. This should be flush. M5 widened, make a mark. Nice. Nice. M3 6 cm screws, 4 of them. Before that, on this part, we have those cavities for the nuts. Take this part, slide the M6 through, so it will stick out, and do this 4 times. 3, 4. Now take a nut and push it into the cavity. Press with the pliers. 1, 2. There is a carriage here that has M3 holes, and we're gonna screw this part to these holes. I have to align with the holes here. M3 1 centimeter. Second one. Now we can screw the second part. tighten it up nicely so it actually locks itself. We can also immediately install this part. 2 screws M3 10 millimeters. You can use normal nuts. That's where the first screw goes. Put it here and screw it together. One screw. Let's do it this way. A little bit of force always solves everything. That's what my dad said. I'm gonna add the lever. This is a 45 millimeters M3. Thread it here through so it nicely aligns. So this is how it looks like. This part here will friction block. Now if we push it back, it's gonna friction block here. And this is what's gonna lock our system here. I'm gonna use self-locking nut here. I'm gonna cut. Be careful here, you don't want to burn it too much because it's gonna melt the plastic. So now I'm gonna mount Z-axis on the front hand, M3 rod, nut, self-locking nut, drop of the super glue, M4 widened washer, M5 widened, a lever, the mark, cleaning it up, through the mechanism, a washer, screwing with the other hand even more, so this rotates nicely. When I lock, it locks from here, and now it's just by friction locks it permanently. Drop of glue between M3 and the core. Open, push it back, put the drop, yeah, like so. For today, it's going to be over. I don't have the screws, so I need to order them. Okay, so now I just need to install the 25 millimeter screws. I'm gonna screw and we're gonna put the glue here and push it in. At the end of the rail, we're gonna install those two small rings. First one goes in the first cavity, a drop of glue, and then push in, and in the third one. Let's test it if it works. Nice. All right, and the second one. A 12 millimeters wide one. Try not to buy the colored one because that's stretching this far. A lighter, slight burn. Touch on this side here. Screw it so it's going to knob on this part, and then we're going to bend there. So like so. And the second one around. Twice is enough, but you can do it third time for good measure. Scissors. Burn. And I want to have loosely screwed here, so let's give like a 17. It's like burn. And we want to loop it around here and tie it up. One. Try how far it's reach. Nice. So 17 centimeters and 2 loops. Maybe a third for good measure. If you want a hot shotgun, you loop it once. It's gonna end here. If you don't want it, leave it, and it's going to be for handguns. Now, what we want to do is shotgun stop. Goes to 25 millimeters M3 screw. Screw it through this square, so the head will go flush with this. add a drop of glue and screw it in. Now M3 nut, standard one. Let's screw it slightly on the screw, and we're going to push this in to the cavity. So now unscrew, and we're gonna screw it in here. And this is our shotgun stop. So let's do it here, like here, and then screw it together. And this is my normal setup for guns. And then I'm gonna travel for something else. I'm gonna move it like this. Next move, we're gonna install the teeth for the front cap. So those two. Don't ask why it's black. Okay, I lost it. Tilt the head so we can have nice surface to glue. And it does have the bump already. We just want to lift the bump from one side, and we're gonna glue the second part on the cap. Drop of glue in the back here. And this one might be on the slight angle because the magnets are slightly pushed. So we're going to follow what the magnet wants. So the snap will be exactly where it should be. While it's drying, and if you didn't spill it, you can align it perfectly. Nice. And let it dry. This is really like cherry on top. But don't miss this part because this really grabs the controllers. Okay, now we're gonna do the bends. So next thing, what we're going to need is this thing. Those are 8 millimeters by 3 millimeters. This is what I found to be the smallest in the measurements of the cramping and the thinnest in the width of the band. So it will be felt. It's also the most bendy. This thing bends to the shape of the controller. Very useful stuff. You pretty much don't feel it. I have some old, yeah. I have some leftovers, so I'm gonna use this. What I want to do, I want to cut like 20 centimeters of the band first. Pliers, a screwdriver. We need to bend the steel so it will grab this hook. We're gonna bend it just on the very first teeth outside, like so. And then we're gonna bend slightly whole thing so we can nicely push it through those two holes. So like here, lock it here. And this is something like this. Now I can push it together like so, and then here at the end slightly bend it so it will hold in place. And this is a prepared mount. So I'm starting with looping the hole here from behind. It's here, through here, start to screw it together. And now when it's looped loose, I can move it over here so it locks to the end of the wall like so, and then we can screw. Take your controllers, slide it in, and screw. Now the band's gonna shape up to the cup. Take the pliers and grab it right at the end of the steel here where it meets the plastic, right over here. We're gonna bend it back, unscrew. Now I can screw slightly in and bend the steel back to the position. And it should be stopping at the plastic here. Alright, so this is the dominant cap ready. Let's do the front hand. Same thing, something like this. The first teeth, then slightly everything. Now bend the steel outside a bit. Tension it. I'm threading from the behind, going through the loop. And it's gonna nicely later fit in this place. Like so. Now I can move the band to the correct position. Okay, control it in with touch, gently. Got it. Nice. I'm snapping the band somewhere here. This sticks out equally to this. So if I unscrew it, like so, like so, I should be able to move the band wherever I want. Align with the plastic. Nice. So this is how it looks like when it's ready. So for the butt, we need to cut the aluminum rail, 2 pieces by 19.5 centimeters, 1 piece by 17 and 1 by 7. Clean it, copy, cut. $17. And the last piece, 7 centimeters. Next thing we're going to do, I have this helper with me that will tell me where I should drill the holes. We want to do 3 holes from both sides of the 19.5 rails and then 1 hole on this side. So turn it over, make the mark, make the mark, make the mark. Switch it, just 1 mark on this side and mark on this side. Same here, 1 mark over here, 1 mark over here, 1 mark over here. Turn it over, 1 mark over here, one, turn it over, 1 mark here, 1 mark here. Okay, next thing, we need to make a dent. So find the center. Nice. What kind of drill we're gonna use to drill the holes through? 471, 470. Let's mount it. Align the holes. The butt, this thing. Let's install it here. So for that we're going to need this M345, the washers M3 widened M3 nuts, the rubber bands. I bought them in Rossmann. It's coming out on the other side. Now we can see how the mechanism works. Now take the rubber gum, turn it over once, over the nut. Do the same thing here. The washer, nut, self-locking M3 nut. Now we want to grab it with the pliers and screw it together. Tighten it up a bit more. We just need to scratch the surface here. Nice and flush. Next thing we're gonna mount the lever. Let's take the screw, 25 millimeters. Align it like so. I'll use the M3 self-locking. Now we can bring up the walls close enough so the lever will stuck inside the cavity. So it moves freely, but once you push it inside, it locks it here. Now we're gonna screw the slidable parts of the butt. We're going to use for that yet another screws, 1 centimeter M3 screw, but with not an hexagonal head, but just a flush ones. This will be better to avoid close to our arm. And they have also hexagonal, but smaller. This part with the hole upside goes inside here, and then align it and screw it together. And here. And now the screws are nicely tucked in and flush, pretty much. You won't feel them on the arm. Push out, move the butt, push in, clicked in. Drill a hole, M3 on the other side. Later mount it to the rubber that will retract us. Okay, let's do the cheek rest. PVC, 15 centimeters. Chamfer the ends of the PVC so it's gonna nicely touch my face. Okay, now push it in. And we're gonna screw with a short screw, 15 millimeter screw. You can see that there is a cavity here for the head, but I'm gonna screw here from the other side because this is the bottom and it will not interrupt in any case. That's enough. Next part, this thing, and we're sliding the 7 centimeter aluminum part inside. Drill M3. 1 and 2. Nice and tight. Fortunately, it sticks out, so I'm gonna have to cut and clean it. Nice and flush. Now these two parts are coming together with, no, it's 3 centimeters. M5 bolt and a nut. Ordinary nut is good enough. Slide the nut here. Nut goes inside here. And it's done. We're gonna mount the 10 centimeters rails on the gunstock first. I'm gonna screw it on the middle one. First goes the washer. Now we're gonna screw it slightly here. And this thing goes through the first hole. And you can see that there's a cavity for the nuts. So slide in the cavity and then screw. And on the other side, we're gonna, when it's come out, we're gonna then use self-locking. And now we're gonna screw separately the bolt to the plastic part. So the axis will work freely. Grab it with the pliers from one side and screw it tightly. Okay, I have a nice friction. This stays in the position. Self-locking nut holds here and here, here and here, and then from there it goes the axis. So let's lift this one up. Repeat with this one. M5 16 centimeters screw goes through here first, falls inside the mechanism. Now slide it like so against this one and grabbing this part. Now we can slide the butt in, but first I want to align the second rail here. Now we're gonna take M5. I'm gonna slide from the right side. I'm gonna use the washer. M5 widened. There's a slight space between them, so the washer goes from here and from here. So 2 washers, 1, 2. Now put it through plastic part. Take this plastic and screw it on. Put the rubber on here and slide this part here, and screw it together. Now at this point we can check if the mechanisms are nice. They are. Secure tightness of this part, so it will move, but it also will provide friction. Yeah, I want to add some grease on the 6 centimeter screw because this will be the main core. Okay, through here, goes over here, and we can now screw the lever. But before you're gonna screw the lever all the way in, you need to have the butt already set in. So let's set in the butt. Now, on the other side, we're gonna screw one screw M45 through here. It's gonna go all the way on the other side to reinforce the fork. Now 25, and we're gonna back up butt. Nice. M3 self-locking. All right, so the gunstock is ready, and the last part will be the holster. Push the nut inside the cavity over here, and we're screwing in the bolt. This is all reinforcement. Screw it in. It's nicely flush. And now we're going to use M5 rod, and this is also for reinforcement. So what I want to do is just measure where to cut. So from here to there, like so, and we're cutting here. Cleaning as always as far as I can with the driver. I'm gonna just use pliers as far as it can go. Gonna secure it in the place forever. And now we have the holster that will definitely withstand all the pressures or the moves that you can perform with it. Now the belt. So we have to take out the buckle and then push it through here, and then inside until it comes off on the other side. Nice. And this will go all the way pretty much like so. Put the buckle back in. Let's go for a test. Nice. Holster works great. The feel of the gunstock is slightly different than PLA, but I like it. No rookie? Nice. Woo-hoo-hoo. Right? Syrian Pavlov.